everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout. Just finished Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 4, The Sauna Test. It's all about the sauna in this one. Okay, I found a great article here on Show Snob, written by Luke Lucas. He summarizes it pretty good, this episode, so I'm just going to kind of go through it really quick. Really enjoyed this one. Stranger Things 3 delivers real action in the sauna test. Erica reigns supreme on a mission, and Elle throws someone through a wall. Billy. He ends up getting up though, so it's pretty crazy. Okay, so here's a recap. The sauna test is a pretty awesome hour of television, and we get some confirmation on what the Mind Flayer is doing when it's captured citizens of Hawkins. The episode was directed by Stranger Things executive producer Sean Levy and written by Katie Treffery from Fear Street. We also get a good idea of just how strong 11 is. Plus the Terminator shows up, kind of. Yeah, there's a there's a great scene in this where the Russian is shooting at Hopper and Will's mom, and just his move, he's a Russian, he's got like the flat top hairdo, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and just how he's holding the AK-47 and moving. And then the scene ends, I'm not really giving too much away, but the scene ends with he holds it up, like the machine gun up like this, and just kind of looks deadpan straight ahead, like he's a robot. So it was definitely, it's inspired from the Terminator. All the independent investigations from the case of the missing lifeguards slowly start to come together in the sauna test. Once Will tells Mike and Lucas that he can feel the Mind Slayer, the guys immediately call a code red. Max gets a call at home from Lucas and Mike to bring 11 and meet at Mike's. Once there, they compare notes and realize that the Mind Flayer might have been locked inside our world when Elle closed the gate last season. Just can't get rid of this thing. It's looking for a new host, but since Billy and Heather are acting suspicious and are missing, the Mind Flayer may be looking to flay multiple hosts. It's almost like it's like spreading out. The mostly reformed party comes up with a plan to trap Billy in the sauna at the Hawkins Municipal Pool. The Mind Flayer likes it's cool. Yeah, that's the thing about this. When somebody's possessed by this parasite, they have to keep their body cold. If their body gets too hot, then that supernatural being just loses it and goes nuts. So basically what they do is they trick Billy into going into the sauna. They lock him in. They turn it up to 220 degrees, let him cook in there, and then eventually all hell breaks loose. He goes absolutely nuts. At the same time, Nancy is at the hospital visiting Mrs. Driscoll, the little old lady that eats all the fertilizer. She and Jonathan were fired from the paper earlier in the day for pursuing the Mind Flayer story and supposedly causing Miss Driscoll to end up hospitalized. Nancy can't believe how degrading her job was. Jonathan doesn't give the best advice. He basically asks what she expected, but Karen gives her real pep talk she needs and convinces her to chase the story and publish her own, as if she has to. That leads us to later in the day as the party is performing the sauna test on Billy. Nancy is with Miss Driscoll in the hospital. Like Will in season 2, Miss Driscoll is part of a hive mind. She basically squirms and stuff when Billy is slowly cooked in the sauna. Billy starts to confess that he's done bad things, but it's not his fault. Max is worried for her brother and is close to the window when Will gets a tingle that the Mind Flayer is near. It's like he feels in the back of his neck. Billy breaks the window and the sauna door. I mean, he's like straight up insane. And that's the thing. I feel like the Dufferin brothers, they kind of took the concept of Invasion of the Body Snatchers for this. Like a lot of the ideas, whether it's the Terminator, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Weird Science, all this stuff is just souped together to make Stranger Things. As Elle is about to get her windpipe crushed, Mike goes all Richie from It and hits Billy from behind with a pipe. Billy turns on Mike and is ready to kill him, but Elle picks him up using her powers, and throws him through the brick wall. A freaking brick wall. Billy gets up and runs away. How he gets up, he kind of reminds me of like one of those like monster movies, like Teen Wolf, kind of running out into the woods under the moonlight. Billy tells Heather that he was almost killed. Heather tells him that he may get killed, but they can't harm us. The camera pans over dozens of flayed citizens of Hawkins. So they've abducted dozens of people. Just different people in the town are now under that mind control. And the next step, they add Lucas's younger sister. She's she's okay. I mean, her character I think could have been a lot better, to be honest with you. Her name's Robin. She kind of is like playing that stereotypical like sassy little girl, and I feel like her character would have been a little bit of a hotter choice if she would have been maybe like a nice little girl, not such a little, bee to people, like nasty to people for no reason. Like be really nice and sweet, but always like come up with something really profound and super intelligent, I feel like a lot of writers, they think that when they write women, if they make the woman sassy or rude or cynical, then that's like a new creative idea, but really it's not, because almost every character is like that now. So if you have a character that's actually like genuine and wholesome, but super smart and crafty, that would really stand out. So basically what they do is they try to talk her into going through the ventilation system in order to get into the room that the Russians are keeping these boxes. So basically what the Russians are doing is they're going into the mall, they're doing all these different pickups at all the different stores, and then they're going into the warehouse at the mall. And the warehouse is guarded by Russians with machine guns. So she goes to the vents, and once in the room, the team finds what looks like upside down particles suspended in green goo. They've got what they need and try to leave and realize that the room they're in is also an elevator compartment. Last time we see them, Team Scoops is hurling down fast. And then we got Don't Look Under the Bed. Hopper does not like the mayor when he finds out that the guy who beat him up at the old lab is a known associate of Mayor Klein. He confronts the mayor and beats the hell out of him in his office. That came out of nowhere. Hopper and Joyce take the mayor back to his home and interrogate him for information about land purchases. All the purchases seem to be near the power plant, which would explain Joyce's magnet dilemma, because if the magnets aren't working, that means that there's a ginormous electromagnetic field that can only come from a power plant. Hopper and Joyce strike out a few times before getting to the Hess farm. In it, under a hideaway bed, there's an entrance to a lab. It's full of Russians. Doggone Russians. Thanks to a tip from the mayor, the Russian Terminator bro, and that's pretty much sums him up. I like his character, it's cool. Shows up and starts to beat on Hopper. Again, Hopper just keeps getting his butt kicked. Drinking and getting beat up. They are barely able to get away with a Russian scientist in tow. All in all, this is one jam-packed, fun episode of Stranger Things. One of the best. The quiet moments came from Mike and Elle. Mike apologized for lying to Elle. And yeah, the rest is just pretty much hanging out in the Star Court. I would give this episode a 4 out of 4 stars. Tons of action in here. I love the Terminator Russian bro in this. It was awesome. A lot of good shootouts. I loved how Lucas's sister, is going through the ventilation system, and Dustin and Steve, they're like on the walkie-talkie. It's almost like Mission Impossible, kids Mission Impossible. I thought that was really, really great. Really entertaining. I'm definitely looking forward to episode 5, that's for sure, because they've set up a lot of stuff with the Russians, as well as the mayor and the upcoming 4th of July celebration. So that'll be good. Hope you enjoyed this, the recap. I'm going to be doing recaps of every single episode, and if you like what you're hearing, if you want to hear more, if you want to just hang out and watch, click subscribe. All right, guys. See ya.